Hey guys, Chef LeBron in the house. Today we're going to make very delicious birria taco.
I got the idea to do this recipe from my friend Helen because she had sent me a recipe for tacos with soup. And after doing more searches on YouTube, I found birria tacos, which are very popular. You'll see a lot of food carts in New York or LA with birria tacos. And so we adapted a bunch of recipes to the recipe you're gonna see today.
It's very yummy. Let's begin.
Turn your cast iron pan to high. Put a pot halfway filled with water and set that to high. This pot is filled with a bunch of vegetables. We have 1.5 onions, and we'll just put them in skin on into your cast iron pan. We have a whole bunch of garlic, and we're gonna put that in with the skin on as well. We also have 3 jalapenos, 2 tomatoes, dried guajillo peppers, and we've removed the stems and the seeds. And we're just gonna lightly toast them. In some of the videos I was watching, they did this outside on a grill, which the smoky taste would be nice, but we're in an apartment, so this is the best we can do is with a cast iron. You just kind of have to crank it up, but you also don't want to over smoke your apartment, so keep an eye on it. We've lightly splintered our guajillo peppers, so we're going to add that to the boiling water. And these are going to boil for about 10 minutes. As some of the items get charred, you can just set them in your bowl. It's nice and charred, and you can tell that there's going to be great flavor in this recipe. So just take off the skin. Start to take these out. Yeah, look at that. Her pan is white hot. Okay, we're good. First thing we're gonna do is peel the garlic. It feels a lot softer now. My head of garlic produced 11 cloves of garlic. I'm gonna add 6 of them to the blender. Reserve the other 5 for a salsa for later on. I'm gonna add 2 of them to this. And again, I'm gonna save one of the jalapenos for a salsa. We have 2 tomatoes, so I'm gonna just use one of these. Started out with 1.5 onions. I'm gonna use about 3/4 of an onion. The guajillo peppers have softened after being boiled, and we're gonna add them to the blender too. And you can add the water in. We're gonna season this with a tablespoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of dark brown sugar. This is a medley of pepper. Put the lid on, and we're gonna set this to liquefy. These are lamb shoulder chops, and they're good meat to use for this because they're a little bit tougher and fatty. Over the course of simmering the meat, they're gonna get really tender and be perfect taco meat. Setting our pan to medium high, and gonna add a little bit of olive oil. I see that this is okay, and you can take them out. Right after you take that out, add the sauce to the pan. Turn it all the way to high. Once it starts to simmer again, you can add some water. Give it a little stir. Add the meat back to the pan. You're gonna put a couple of bay leaves in here. We're gonna start off with a teaspoon of cumin, a teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of dried oregano, half a teaspoon of paprika. Some people put cinnamon in it, but we really don't like the taste of cinnamon in this. Stir it around. Set your temperature to medium-low heat and then set a timer for 2 hours, and you're gonna let this simmer. Check it every once in a while, just stir it. Make sure that the water level is covering the meat and add water as you go along. It's been 2 hours, and what we're gonna do is skim the fat off the top. We're gonna save this so that we can fry our tortillas in this oil. We learned this from a video about a taco truck in New York City. Okay, there, it looks good. Now we're gonna take the meat out and let it cool down just a little bit. You can see how it's come off the bone. So this is what we had reserved from before, and we're gonna make a salsa with this. Put it in your blender. I set aside 2 bunches of cilantro. One is gonna be for a garnish, and then this is gonna go in our salsa. Add some pepper and a pinch of salt, maybe 2. And a little bit of cold water. Cover it up. We're gonna set this to chop. Alright. Pull apart the meat. Just use your fingers. And the bone just falls right off. This is kind of the connective tissue fat and bone pile over here. And then over here is the meat we're gonna be using. We're pretty good to go, I think. Turn your stove to medium-high. Add some of this oil to the pan. We're using a medium-sized flour tortilla. Instead of just dunking this in the oil and then have the tortilla fall apart, what we're gonna do is take the tongs and then coat it on each side with the oil. You don't have to coat it perfectly, just try and get it on each side as evenly as you can. Let's let the tortilla heat up and start to get just a little bit crispy, and then we're gonna add more ingredients. I'm gonna look at the other side of the tortilla. It's a little browner now. First add some Mexican cheese blend to one side of this. Add some of your meat on top of there. Diced onion and cilantro. Add some more cheese onto this. Close the tortilla. Let this sit for 30 seconds to a minute. Give it a flip. So you didn't have to be perfect with the oil at the beginning because the oil will melt and get all over the tortilla. It'll have this nice orange color from the oil. I also like to slightly open up the tortilla to see how the cheese is melting, and it's melting really well. It just needs a little bit more time though. The cheese is melted and it's ready to come out. I'm gonna cut this in half. Nice and crunchy. Take your salsa, put some on top. Take your soup and ladle on a little bit on top.
Okay, you pick one.
Okay.
And I pick one. Okay, cheers.
Cheers.
Mmm.
Oh wow. Excuse us, we're having a moment. I'm just gonna keep eating while you get ready to talk.
This is my first time I haven't spoken since we've been filming almost 16 videos. The reason is it's very good. Just the cheese melt perfectly. The meat is juicy and tender and soft, and also onions cilantros, and all this sauce just all mixed up together, give you that just fantastic taste to your mouth. It's just hard to describe. Make it at home and you'll thank us later. What do you think about it?
Oh, it's amazing. I'm ready to have another one.
Okay, let's have another one. Alright, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Bye!